Good morning. Thank you guys for being here. Um, this is my first YouTube video by myself or that I'm doing. So I am grateful for you bearing with me because I have a lot that I want to say and I'm trying to figure out how to put it in order and how to explain what I'm talking about so everything makes sense. So please ask questions. I don't mind answering them, and I am going to do a lot more videos to explain a lot of different things. But the first one I want to do is about how to embody, how to live in the body and not in the head or out here. Um, and so I decided this a couple of days ago when I decided I was going to start doing this to speak about this first because where I am now, you have to understand this before you can move further. And so I was speaking with a friend of mine, with Kara Honey, and she was kind of helping me get some things in order. But I feel like I need to say this to explain some things. So, my big thing where I am right now has everything to do with fascia. And I'm going to do a lot of videos and to explain that. And there's some that we've already done on Honey's channel. But everything that fascia comes down to, it has everything to do with our bodies, but it has everything to do with emotions, and emotions being locked and trapped in our bodies due to belief systems, due to generational things that we may not even have any idea about. So I want to say this part before I go into explaining more about that. A couple weeks ago, Kara told me, Honey told me, sorry, um, that I, lots and lots and lots of years ago, was on a team of scientists that created the human body. And I have something to do with the part of the team that created fascia. So I've really been feeling into that, and I've really been waiting for some answers from higher self. And yesterday I decided I heard my higher self tell me to do a guided meditation on this and just to see what came to me. And so in that process, a lot of answers came and I was able to see a lot. But for this video, I wanted to explain this part. I was able to see how, so, um, I don't know the right word I'm trying to use, societies, cultures, sets of humans, of beings, hominids, I don't know all the words, like way, way back to Neanderthals, and just every set of every group of living beings where the DNA was changed every so many years and how evolution happened. So I was able to see that from a higher perspective, where when we created the human suit, the human body for this experience, and the part that I have to do with the fascia, that has everything to do with emotions. So when I was in that meditation yesterday, I was able to see me then creating the human suit and the fascia part, and I was able to see then that I knew I would be here now, helping unlock these things. So in that in between process, I was able to see how beings used to not live in fight or flight. And so their fascia flowed, the energy flowed through their fascia easier. There wasn't as many energy blocks and things didn't get stuck because of the way the earth was at that point. And then I was able to see how, and I say this just because it's what the words that come to me, Roman, Egyptian times, then when patriarchy became the thing, I was able to see how that started locking in fascia, and how that started before then. People lived 300-400 years, and all of that evolution happened, and that has to do with fascia. So the emotional side of that is every bit of the aging, the living less years, the sickness, the everything that's come along with this, all has to do with emotions. So, from my perspective, and this is just what my higher self tells me, I'm here right now. What I've been learning for the past 5 years is how every single thing that we feel in our bodies is from a memory, a trauma, an emotion, and emotions are energy. So when we feel something in our bodies, what we in this lifetime society have been trained to do, and we don't even know it, is that we live outside of our bodies. So hopefully that was a short, good kind of explanation. And I'll go into it more. Like I said, I'm just trying to get a lot in this first video. But now I'm to the point where embodying, learning how to live in your body and not in your head. I'll be honest. So for me, when this started happening, I was in so much pain that I couldn't function. At that point, I didn't know that I had created it on different levels, created it before I came in as a soul, because we all choose this life and what we're going to go through. But also, I didn't understand that every word that was coming out of my mouth and everything that I was doing, looking at every day, was creating my reality over and over and over and over. So when things literally fell apart for me, I had to figure out how to survive. I was literally just trying to save my life because I just thought I was going to die, whether it be from mental pain, emotional pain, physical pain. I just felt like I was going to die for a long time. So I learned how to listen to what my body was telling me. And no, it's not easy. And I don't mean to speak about it like it's just simple, because it takes a lot. It really does. But everybody can do it. And if you're at the point where you're trying to figure out the next step, or you feel like you don't want to live anymore, or you're in so much pain that you can't function, this is like the next step. And I really understand that. And I really am here for these people, because it's really hard. So, everything, the way I see everything is energy. Like everything is the same exact thing in another form, depending on what you're creating, what you believe it is. So, like I was saying, what I saw in that guided meditation of when emotions started changing, when they started creating all of these programs, all of these things that have been controlled by fear. It's called luge siphoning, and I can do a video on that. That's a whole thing that we can go into. But the whole thing is they have been creating more fear, more fear, more fear, everything. Everything from things we watch on the television to this, to this. I mean, that's just the new things, but you can go all the way back, way back, and see how it's just been on and on and on, from everything that we eat, everything that we put into our bodies. So all of those things are, I call them distractions or attachments. And for me, how I had to do it, I literally had to quit doing everything I do. And it takes a lot of making time to sit with yourself. So I'll just use food, because that's been one of my really big things, and one of the really big things that I'm learning about with fascia and rewiring my brain, and I'm losing weight on a different level in a different way, and I can do videos about that too. But for me, it was always food, and I realized that after I started going through this. But every time I was not able to deal with my emotions, and I didn't understand it then, but it was the feelings in my body, I would go eat. Or I used to smoke. I would go smoke. This comes down to learning how to be instead of doing, or to be while you're doing. So there's a really big difference in doing and being. And that all comes down to, are you able to be in your body, or do you live outside your body? So our bodies are there's not even a word. Amazing comes to my mind, but unless you study this, unless you pay attention, unless you care, you don't have any idea what our bodies actually are doing in every second, every moment. And I, in this lifetime, was a medical assistant and have been doing that since 2007, 2008. And I still didn't realize because I was in that system. I was in how all of that stuff worked in the programming, and that was just where I lived. Anyways, we learning how to be I call it intentional gratefulness, intentionally grateful. Learning how to know and understand that you created where you are right now, and learning how to understand that in every moment everything is perfect. There is no good or bad when it comes to energy. Everything just is. And I know that's a lot to accept, and there's ways to work through that. Um, but from the biggest part of this, I think, is from all of what we've been living through, what we're going through right now, what people are starting to wake up to, what people are starting to see, is that we are in a system. And every single day we wake up and our brains start on another loop of what we went to bed with the day before. What bills have to be paid? What do I need to do today? How much money do I have? Do I need to eat? When we learn to be able to start shutting off all of those things, and I say in the morning because that's the best way to start rewiring your brain and start changing the energy and the loops that are in your brain. Or it was for me. That's how I did it. Then we start creating our own reality in a different way, because we are creating our own reality right now. We just don't realize it. We're creating it through the matrix. And this is how we are trapped in the matrix, and it has to do with fascia and belief systems and emotions. I mean, there's a lot of different things, but when it all comes down to emotions. And ego aspect is part of that, which most of people who don't understand or don't know what they're doing, that's the aspect they live from, just because that is the aspect that's trying to keep them safe in that fight or flight mode when people don't know how to get out of that. Because I lived in fight or flight mode for I don't even know how many years, a lot of years. And I didn't realize that when I was living in it. Now that I'm out of it, I realize it and I see it. But my purpose is to help people who are understanding what I'm saying or resonating with what I'm saying to be able to get out of it, because that's what a big part of why I'm here. So I just wanted to do a video about what I am trying to do. There's going to be a lot more to come because I don't even know everything yet. The way I see it is I've been getting puzzle pieces through downloads, and when I get downloads, they might seem crazy, but I know that it's something I'm supposed to figure out. And so I figure out what it's telling me from inside my body. And a lot of my stuff has come from pains inside my body, and I've had to learn meridian lines and how those affect our bodies and how meridian lines go to fascia. And for me, everything goes with everything. So there's a reason for everything that happens. Nothing is a mistake. Nothing is an accident. Everything is. So that's just how I see things. I'm just reading through some of my notes to see if there's anything I missed that I want to talk about today. So I don't think so. I think that was it. The biggest thing that I wanted to get across in this video, I think, is we have to learn how to know what our bodies are telling us in every moment. I could say one more thing because of where we are right now. Something else that I believe and I've proven many times in myself and my family members, people around me, is that sick is a belief system. It is a reality that is being recreated in every moment, if that's what you believe. The reason that, to me, that word became, and that's something I need to do. I should go do the like Hebrew part of that, and I will do that, and I'll let you guys know. Because this is how one way that I break down things is the words that we use now. If you go back to the root of the words, a lot of times there's a different meaning. So I see how words have been created to control us, another form of fear. So now I just kind of lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Yeah, okay. Well, if it comes back to me, I'm saying words are fear. Oh, sick. Okay. So if you get a cough or a sneeze, instantly, I'm getting sick. Um, that's not true. That's a belief system. Cough and sneeze are symptoms. That's all they are. If you think about it from the perspective of what a cough and a sneeze really is and the energy part of it, it is your lungs detoxing. That's their way of getting stuff out, getting the gunk from the bottom. And that comes down to, and I'll do videos about this too, it has everything to do with fascia, but we don't know how to breathe correctly. Diaphragmatic breathing is the way that every human being should be breathing, and we don't know how to. We're not taught to unless we teach ourselves. So because we don't do that, which the simple part of that is taking intentional deep breaths, breathing as deep as you can into the lungs and blowing it out, like pushing the breath out longer than what we do when we aren't consciously breathing. That gets out gases, carbon. You know, our lungs take in oxygen, they put out carbons. But also, our lungs, think about from the detox aspect, our lungs are doing more detoxing. I mean, our skin, I guess, too, but talking about like internal organs more than our kidneys because we breathe a lot more than we poop or pee. And that would be the other two detoxing, elimination things, what I'm talking about. So we breathe a lot more than we eliminate out of our bodies. So from the perspective I'm coming from, our lungs do a lot more detoxing than we realize. Anyways, because we don't take those deep breaths and we don't push out all that stuff, the cough, the sneeze, those things do. Those things are a type of energy that is making you expel mucus, things that are stuck in there, carbon particles that have been stuck. So, what I'm trying to say, that is a belief system that we were told, that we've grown up with, that's been going on for how many years. That's why so many dis-ease, so much dis-ease, so much diagnosis. Every time I'm on paying attention to the TV and it's something with commercials, there's a new diagnosis, a new medication. Just, it's never ending. Anyways, that's all fear, and those are all fear tactics. But I also understand how the people who are controlling that and the people who are living in that on this earth believe that they are doing what they're supposed to do, believe that they're doing the best that they can. So I also understand that. But for us and for our health, understanding that we are creating it and that we can heal ourselves, and that it doesn't have to be called sick, that we can understand that our bodies are working for us if we help. And it all comes down to a balance. Everything's going to come down to a balance that has to do with our body, our emotions, our mental. Everything is just balance. So that is just one thing I wanted to add because it comes down to the belief systems. And right now, a lot of what I have to talk about is our health and our bodies and how we can start taking care of it and we can be in control of it instead of expecting somebody else to give us the answers. They're all inside of us, and I have gone the past 5 years figuring that out, and so now it's time for me to share with you guys. I greatly appreciate everyone being here and listening to my video. If you have any questions, let me know. And like I said, I'm just starting this. It's all new, so I really don't know what I'm doing and I'm just learning as I go. So I greatly appreciate everything. Have a great day. Thanks.